I'll see that guy anywhere end his life, for real. Like, he doesn't want the smoke. I'll beat him in boxing, but at the end of the day, if it was just man-on-man in the street, I would literally rip his heart out.
No, I love it, you know, and I'm fighting to represent Puerto Rico for this fight. And the Mexicans are on my side, right? Peso Pluma said yesterday that I'm gonna win.
Canelo Alvarez there says that he would potentially kill you.
He's a 5'8" little peon. People don't realize I'm a real killer. I really do this shit.
Jake Paul unleashes fiery rage at Canelo Alvarez during a live broadcast, igniting shockwaves across the boxing world. With raw intensity and unfiltered words, he sets his sights on Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. as the next step in his fight journey. During an interview with Piers Morgan, Jake Paul didn't hold back his disdain for Canelo Alvarez. He mocked Canelo's height and presence, dismissing him as someone he could easily dominate, whether in the ring or on the street. This comment wasn't just trash talk, it was a bold statement aimed at stirring attention and asserting his growing presence in boxing. The exchange set the tone for Jake's mindset heading into his upcoming challenges.
I mean, Canelo Alvarez there says that he would potentially kill you if you got on the ring with him.
He's a 5'8" little peon. If we were in the streets, I would grab that little ginger and smack him upside the head and make him forget who the he was. People don't realize I'm a real killer. I really do this shit. YouTube this, YouTube that, Disney that. This shit is not a joke. I'm knocking out the best of the best, beating all of these people time in and time again. And it's about time that you old heads and all these boxers who think they know about the sport put some respect on my name.
Momentum carried into a recent live conference where Jake Paul declared full readiness for his upcoming clash with Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He expressed certainty in finishing the fight quickly, emphasizing efficiency over endurance. This assertiveness was built on his earlier remarks about Canelo, signaling a shift from verbal jabs to focused aggression. The attention was now squarely on Chavez Jr., and Jake was positioning this bout as a key milestone.
Is there a pressure on you to perform? Do you want a spectacular stoppage, or are you okay with going the distance? Are you trying to put on an extra show for that ranking?
No, yeah, I'm gonna knock him out. That's what I came here to do. First round, it's gonna be early night. He's gonna get hit with the right hook right away, and I'm going home early. We don't get paid for overtime. This is gonna be a spectacular performance, and there's not a lot of pressure. I'm prepared.
Stirring further controversy, Jake Paul gave Chavez Jr. a mocking nickname during a press event, aiming to undermine his opponent's reputation. The remark blended comedy with disrespect, part of Jake's usual pattern of psychological warfare. His approach remained consistent: break opponents down mentally before the physical battle begins. This stunt mirrored his earlier antics with Canelo, keeping fans entertained while maintaining pressure. The jab at Chavez Jr. wasn't just for laughs, it was a tactic to destabilize, to take control of the narrative before either fighter stepped into the ring.
If you could give Chavez Jr. a nickname, what would it be?
Cocaína.
Yo le regalaría un par de huevos, dile, para que tenga, para que vea.
Julia y Julio están aquí.
Me reservo el derecho de hablar de él.
Chavez Jr., however, refused to take the bait. He responded with amusement, brushing off Jake's attempt at mockery and turning the tables by calling out Jake's authenticity. Highlighting his own discipline and commitment, Chavez Jr. painted himself as the serious athlete in contrast to Jake's theatrics. This moment added tension to the rivalry, exposing a philosophical divide: showmanship versus tradition. Chavez Jr.'s calm demeanor served as a counterbalance to Jake's aggressive energy, suggesting that this fight might come down to more than just fists. It could be a clash of values and approaches to the sport.
Cocaína!
And how did you call it?
Fake Paul.
So next time the fans should say fake Paul, fake Paul.
Fake Paul, fake Paul. Drugs are bad. Good, but so bad for the future. I don't have discipline, so I have 2 years discipline, clean, doing everything right. I'm sober for the first time 2 years and more than 10 years. More clear with conditions. Athletes with alcohol and things like that. is never good. So I look great in the gym, so I wanna look great at the fight.
Outside opinions began surfacing, shaping the public's perception of the matchup. Kenzie Morrison openly took the side of Chavez Jr., expressing confidence in his experience and foundation. This sentiment echoed those in the boxing community who still viewed Jake Paul as an outsider, trying to fast-track legitimacy. Morrison's endorsement added weight to Chavez's credibility, providing a clear line in the sand.
Jake Paul, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. What are your thoughts on that fight? Who do you got winning?
Well, I want Chavez to win. I'm praying that he is doing well in his camp and he comes out victorious. I'll be watching. I don't know, man. The whole thing just kind of blows my mind. I can't believe they picked him, to be honest.
Because he's too tough?
No, I mean he's definitely tough. He's on the end of his game, you know, and it's kind of like feels like they're just trying to target people that they can steal the thunder from. You know what I mean? It's odd to me, but man, I really hope that Chavez has a good show, and like I said, I'll be watching, and damn it, I hope he knocks him out.
Meanwhile, Mike Perry offered a more optimistic take on Jake Paul's chances. He suggested that a win over someone as experienced as Chavez Jr. would be a major achievement. Coming from someone who appreciates grit and toughness, Perry's remarks added a layer of intrigue. His endorsement suggested that Jake's victory could carry real meaning, perhaps even surprise the doubters. As the bout approached, the conversation became more layered.
Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Who you got?
That'd be interesting if Jake can beat a guy with such experience, and he's very confident, and I think he might do it. So, yeah, cool. Thank you.
Canelo Alvarez, however, didn't share the same sentiment. When asked about the fight, he confidently supported Chavez Jr., believing he had the edge. This endorsement came as a sting for Jake, especially after his earlier comments targeting Canelo. For Jake, this wasn't just another prediction, it was fuel. The same fighter he'd mocked was now siding against him, reinforcing Jake's desire to climb the ranks and eventually challenge those who doubt him.
Confío mucho plenamente que tenga esa victoria. Le deseo lo mejor. Debería de ganar Julio. Una buena preparación, mentalmente hacerlo bien y debería de ganar él.
Jake didn't stay quiet about Canelo's support for Chavez Jr. Instead, he used it as motivation, stating that it only reinforced his goal of eventually facing Canelo himself. The rivalry had taken another step, evolving from words to intentions. For Jake, defeating Chavez was now more than just about reputation. It was a direct response to Canelo's dismissal.
Canelo says Chavez is going to beat you.
Yeah, man. I mean, he also says he's the face of boxing, but his events tank. He put on the most boring fight recently. And look, he's a big name, but he's a little washed up in my opinion. And that's why I wanted to fight him, is because I know I'm better than him.
You want to fight Canelo? You think you can take him?
I know I can take him. I know I can. And people say it's crazy. People have a lot to say. Everyone has a lot to say, but I'm the one actually doing things. I put my money where my mouth is, and I was the one ready to fight Canelo May 3rd, and instead he took another deal last minute when we were signed up to fight.
As tensions continued rising, Jake Paul took another shot, this time at the promotional efforts behind the Canelo versus Crawford fight. He criticized the entire presentation, calling it dull and lacking originality. In doing so, he positioned himself once more as the disruptor, the outsider unafraid to challenge traditional boxing norms. This commentary wasn't random, it followed a pattern of targeting the sport's top names and structures.
Do you think Turkey has a vendetta against you or try to sabotage the fight between you and Canelo?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think he should have a vendetta. I don't know why he would or anything like that. But I definitely do think they threatened, and I know that they threatened to pull his, multi-$100-million contract if he were to fight me.
And just one last topic, or one last question on that topic. What do you think about, the way that it's been promoted? It seemed like they were very friendly. They were going to dinner, then there was a push. Just what are your thoughts on the whole thing?
I think it's corny, to be honest. I tweeted, imagine if Ronaldo and Messi had dinner together before the World Cup. That's just not how real competitors. You think Michael Jordan was doing that type of shit? So I think it's corny, and I would never engage in any of those activities.
Live only on DAZN, June 28th. Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr. Buy now at DAZN.com/boxing.
When Canelo was later asked about the possibility of ever fighting Jake Paul, he calmly shut down the idea. He expressed little interest, reinforcing the notion that Jake still hasn't done enough to earn such a match. This reaction didn't seem to rattle Jake, but rather added fuel to his ongoing campaign. Every denial, every brush off from boxing royalty became another reason for Jake to push harder. His journey wasn't just about beating opponents, it was about breaking into a world that continues to view him as a sideshow rather than a serious threat.
What do you make of Jake Paul, and would you ever fight him?
Not right now.
Because there was talk of it.
Yeah, talking about, but you know.
No interest in the mystery.
Not right now.
Even Manny Pacquiao had thoughts on the matter, expressing skepticism about Jake Paul's boxing legitimacy, even if he managed to defeat Chavez Jr. His stance echoed what many purists in the sport still believe, that Jake hasn't paid the dues that define real fighters. Pacquiao's opinion, coming from one of the most respected names in boxing, carried significant weight.
On Jake Paul and Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., if Jake Paul were to win that fight, do you think it legitimizes him as a boxer?
It's hard to comment on that fight, but it's happened that way. It's up to the fans how they analyze it and how they judge it.
But from Hall of Famer Manny Pacquiao's opinion, do you think it legitimizes him if he beats Chavez Jr.?
I don't think so.
No.
When UFC President Dana White was asked about Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr., his response was surprisingly casual. He wasn't even aware of the fight initially, but acknowledged that it was, in fact, a real matchup. His reaction highlighted the strange place Jake holds in combat sports, constantly under the radar for some, yet always in the spotlight.
And then Jake Paul is going head-to-head with you. I guess, what are your thoughts on this Saturday coming up against...
Oh, really? I didn't even fucking know that.
Fighting Chavez Jr.
Who's he fighting?
Chavez Jr.
Okay.
But what are your thoughts on going head-to-head with your old pal?
Yeah. I didn't even know he was fighting, so that's how concerned I am about it now. Yeah, I didn't even know. Huh?
Holly Holmes in the co-man.
Oh, no shit. Who's she fighting?
Some prospects, right?
Yeah. It's not like 11 tonight. Okay.
Jake and Chavez is a proper fight, though, isn't it?
What's that?
Jake and Chavez is a proper fight.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah. It's funny. I didn't even know that.
Just on the boxing field.
During a face-to-face conversation, Jake Paul confidently declared that he would finish Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. in the ring. As Chavez attempted to respond through a translator, Jake abruptly cut in, demanding the conversation continue in English. However, Chavez struggled to fully understand, leading to a tense and awkward exchange. Despite the language barrier, Chavez maintained composure and responded with calm defiance, acknowledging Jake's advantage in verbal sparring, but implying that boxing would reveal the truth.
And I think these guys don't know what they're getting themselves involved in. And I see the sparring partners they're bringing in, and it's just no one that can match what I'm capable of in the ring. And it's going to be a very upsetting night for him.
Julio, que te va a romper tu madre, güey. Más. Better said than done. You're going to fuck him up. I think that's the easier way to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
En español? Lo que tú quieras, whatever you feel.
English, please.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey.
English,
Jake,
please.
for speak, for talk, you're better than me. That's for sure. And boxing, fight out Saturday.
On the Ariel Helwani show, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. gave Jake Paul a surprising nod of respect. He acknowledged that Jake is indeed a real fighter and even admitted that he's a good one. This moment revealed a shift in tone from previous exchanges, adding a layer of mutual recognition to their rivalry.
Nothing significant to respect like Jake, like a good fighter. You know, he's a real fighter. I think so. He's a fighter now. You know, he have 11 fights, but that's it. You know, it's nothing special. He's strong. That's it.
Continuing the conversation, Ariel Helwani asked Chavez if he felt disrespected by Jake Paul's behavior leading up to the fight. Chavez confirmed that he did, pointing out Jake's constant trash talk and public jabs. He made it clear that this approach rubbed him the wrong way. While Chavez had just recognized Jake as a real fighter, he drew a line at the disrespect, showing that sportsmanship and personal pride still mattered in the heat of competition.
Yes, a little bit disrespect, because he's supposed to try to enter to a real boxing, you know. That's why he started me, because I'm ex-world champion. So he speak too much trash, you know, and try to sell the fight. But I don't like hear that things, like, I don't know, Jake is good for that, for promote fights and these things, but I really want to find out if it's good boxing, for real.
Meanwhile, Jake emphasizes that his knockouts aren't luck, they're earned. He calls out traditional boxers and critics for dismissing his skills, saying they've ignored the evidence for too long. With each fight, he's proving doubters wrong, and now demands to be treated as a serious contender, not a sideshow attraction.
I'm knocking out the best of the best, beating all of these people time in and time again, and it's about time that you old heads and all these boxers who think they know about the sport put some respect on my name.
In the end, during Piers Morgan's interview, Jake boldly claims that Canelo Alvarez avoided a fight with him. He insists Canelo ducked the opportunity out of fear or pride. Jake presents himself as the aggressor, saying he's ready and willing, but it's Canelo who backed away from the challenge.
Like, I don't know what you guys want to see. I tried to fight Canelo. He ducked out of it. You asked him about that. You said he's going to kill me. So what do you want? You're laughing when you say, oh, Jake is gonna fight Canelo. I think you would kill him. But then you're like, oh, you're not fighting this guy. You're the problem here with this whole situation and criticism of my career. I'm trying to fight the best people, and that's why Chavez is here on Saturday. I want Canelo. I want Anthony Joshua. I want all these people. It's been 5 years in this sport.
But the problem is, the only proper boxer you fought was Tommy Fury, and he beat you. And he's not even the best. He's not even the best fighter in his family.
Wade Plemons highlights the need to train more and be more strategic for Chavez against Jake. He thinks that Jake has a high chance of winning, and he is excited to see how he performs against a seasonal boxer.
A conscious effort to get away from being a little more technical and just sitting down on punches. In a fight like this, if Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. comes in and is actually taking this seriously, he's going to have to be a bit more technical than he was with Mike Perry, than he was with Nate Diaz. He's going to have to be sharp. Not because Chavez Jr. is a puncher, because he's not. He wasn't even a puncher like that at 160 pounds, and that's crazy, 160 to 200. But the counter shots can be there, and you still don't want to get hit with those, no matter if you're at cruiserweight or wherever else. At the fault of his technique, when you have a guy in Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. who the public might not think has a chance, and maybe he doesn't. Maybe he's not taking it very seriously, but the chances he does have is if he's able to, for 10 rounds, put together a boxing masterclass. Because I don't think he's knocking Jake out. I think he hurt Jake. I don't see him knocking him. Maybe if Jake tires himself out, but he's gone 10 rounds a couple times now. But I want to see how Jake does against a experienced, technically gifted boxer.
Jake Paul versus Chavez Jr., a clash of confidence and legacy. With Canelo Alvarez also in the mix, the stakes are rising fast. Is Jake truly closing the gap on boxing's elite, or is this hype outpacing skill? Let us know. Can Jake beat Chavez Jr., and does he deserve Canelo next?